well. I'm your host of the Fighting Queens interview. It is yours truly, Jake, not from State Farm. And today we have a woman who just came off with a phenomenal win this past weekend. A woman who is an amazing boxer, an amazing fighter, and of course an amazing warrior. Please help me welcome in my guest this time, Miss Hannah Rat. Hannah, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I gotta get just to ask you, how you been doing? I mean, I've just mentioned it for you had that incredible win this past weekend. How you been feeling since then?
Feeling great. I got back in the gym on Monday. Didn't do a whole lot on Monday, but today I was back to regular training, so I'm feeling good.
I love that. So let's go ahead and get things started. So we all get inspired by what we do best. Me when it comes to interviewing, you when it comes to fighting. So what inspired you to start boxing in the first place?
That's a great question. So I'd done pretty much every other sport my entire life. Started off with soccer, did track and field, cross country, basketball, softball, you name it, I probably played it at some point. And then I got to be on the track and field team at Purdue University for a couple of years, and then after COVID happened, they had to make some adjustments to the team. Unfortunately, I wasn't on the team anymore, so I had to find something else to do. And I looked up boxing because I always wanted to do some sort of martial art. And I looked up, boxing gyms near me, and it was like an hour away. And I was like, whatever, I'll give it a go.
And the
and
fact that you went an hour away, and I'm sorry to cut you off, it's pretty
no,
incredible the fact that you went, that far to go to do something that you wanted to try.
yeah, yeah, and I loved it immediately. I knew like right away that's exactly what I want to be doing, and yeah, I was hooked.
I love that, and of course, and of course, another thing too is that you pretty much trained at Bryan Boxing in Bryan, Texas. I mean, talk about the gym and of course how much they've helped you ever since you joined them.
Yeah, so like originally I'm from Indiana and I moved to Texas last year for a job opportunity. And I let Coach Carl know ahead of time, hey, I'm a professional boxer. If you have, the capacity to help me in your gym, I'd love to come down and check it out. And the first day in the gym, he was like, you want to get in there and spar? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So we did a couple rounds, and he was like, oh yeah, this will work out well. And Coach Carl, he's been fantastic. He does so much for myself and my teammate Chase Martinez, and even all of our amateur boxers in the gym. Like, even if you don't fight, even if you're just training, like he dedicates so much of himself to us in the gym, and it's a blessing.
It definitely is a blessing for sure. And of course, shout out to everybody at Bryan Boxing and over there at Bryan, Texas. Make sure you guys go check them out if you guys are in the Texas area. Go and give them a try. And of course, another thing too is that I want to get just talk to you. You just mentioned that you pretty much go from Indiana to Texas. How was the transition, and did you have to work on a couple of things once when you made this effort to move down to Texas?
Yeah, I mean, it was weather-wise, that was a big change. It is summer like 350 days out of the year here for the most part. So the heat was definitely a challenge. I remember walking into the gym the first day and it just felt like an oven. And I was like, how are y'all not cooking every single day? Um, but I think that's made me stronger, like condition-wise. Um, the culture is different, but I mean, I so far I've noticed everybody's very warm and welcoming, and that Southern hospitality is real. Being away from family has been a huge challenge, I think, for me to overcome, and fortunately, I've been able to go home, as often as I can, a couple times a year, taking a flight home to Indiana to see my family, and they'll come down here and visit me. But I'd say that's probably one of the biggest challenges.
Man, I got to get a chance to ask you. I mean, because it's starting to get cold out here in West Virginia. I mean, do you miss the cold days? Do you miss the snowy days in Indiana? Like, because I know in Texas there are some rain, but nothing as near as it is in both Indiana and, of course, West Virginia.
Oh yeah, I'm missing my snow. I love winter. It's probably one of my favorite times of year, especially when it's snowing. Right now I'm getting super excited because it's about to be 65 degrees tomorrow, and that's like fall weather as far as Texas is concerned. Back home I'm pretty sure it's like 35 degrees. I think they just had a hard frost. So yeah, I do miss the cold weather.
I'll say it's about in the mid 50s here in West Virginia. So I mean, we've already gotten the fall like colors everywhere. So I really like that for sure. And of course, another thing too, as far as being a boxer, that of course you gotta get a chance to train to be able to become the best. And of course, at times we love training, but then again, sometimes we despise training. So from your perspective, what has been the hardest part about training?
Um, that's a tough one because I love to train. So I'm in the gym all the time. Clearly, I'm a couple days off of a big win, and I'm still back in the gym because I don't know what to do if I'm not training. That's not entirely true. I have a lot of other hobbies, but um, you know, it's hard when you don't always know when you have a fight coming up. You kind of have to be ready on a moment's notice. So that's why I do stay in the gym because I always want to be ready for a big opportunity because I know that's like I'm on the precipice of that. So I don't want to be caught like not prepared, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Um, that's a big challenge, not knowing when the next fight is or who it's going to be. It's just kind of like a wait and see game.
Yeah. And of course, another thing too is that, and I know most boxers, they kind of have that time where they kind of just reflect as far as everything that they've gone through, as far as the trials and tribulations. I mean, do you ever kind of just sit back and kind of reflect on what you started to where you are now?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's a really important thing to do for everybody, not just boxers, but it's easy to not recognize how far you've come when you're kind of like in the thick of a training camp, for example. But, after the fight, I was able to sit and reflect, like, how far I've come, how much I've grown, all the things that I've been working on since I got, at Brian Boxing and even since I've started just like 4.5 short years ago. Cause that's really not a lot of time. I started boxing kind of late. I was like 21, 22 years old when I started boxing. Um, so yeah, I think it's really important to make those reflections and to kind of give yourself a pat on the back every now and then, and appreciate all the things that you've gone through.
If you hear a train, my apologies because a train is going down where I live at. So, because when I first heard the train, I was like, oh no, like she's gonna hit us. Like, is everything good there? Like, yeah, everything's great. We're just a train going by like it is any other day.
No
But of
worries.
course, my next favorite question though is that a lot of times people don't think. I mean, they think about the physical aspects of fighting, but they don't think about the mental aspects. So my favorite question to get you to ask is, how much has the sport helped you out mentally?
It has challenged me mentally, but it's also made me grow, as a person quite a bit. And I think as a boxer, you have to have a lot of grit to be able to overcome a lot of challenges that you deal with. But it also, as I've developed and grown in the sport, I've become a calmer person, I think. Um, so boxing has allowed me to put my energy into something, wholeheartedly and stuff like that. A lot of my anxieties that I used to have, I don't have anymore because I beat all of that out on a punching bag. um, so yeah.
Well, I mean, and I definitely love that for sure. And of course, another thing too is that you are hopefully I said this right, the NABF champion. And of course, as far as being the champion, how much does that mean to you? And what's going to be the goal now? The fact that you're officially a champion.
So I earned my championship last November. It was my fourth fight. So pretty. I mean, that was the same year that I had my pro debut. That was my fourth fight of the year, and that opportunity just kind of happened to be offered to us, and we said, of course, we can take it. Um, and it was a great opportunity to showcase my skills and prove that I belong there as a champion. Um, but I know that there's more for me beyond that. And so I've had my sights set on being a world champion pretty much since the day that I stepped into a boxing gym. Maybe that's a bit of delusion, but also like I just have that sense of self belief that that I think will take me far. And it's not just the belief; it's backed up by thousands of hours of hard work and training, and I'll continue to do so. So what I'm trying to say is that it's great being the NABF champion right now. But we've always had our sights set beyond that. And my ultimate goal is to just be the best boxer that I can be, the best person that I can be. If that means I get to be a world champion someday, great. If not, I just want to give it to my best go, no matter what happens.
I really love that for sure. And of course, guys, if you want to get a chance to follow her, please feel free to do so on Instagram at HRAP7. Once again, that is HRAP7. You know what? I can tell you this though is that before I get to my next question though, you know what? I may not get a chance to know much more about you until today, but the one thing I can say is, from get a chance to see the fight and everything else, you have really grown into the sport. I mean, 4 years and you're already a professional, which, by the way, congratulations on that. But of course, another thing too is that you have something that you definitely deserve, and that is get a chance to go out there, be the best boxer that you can possibly be, and show that us Indiana girls can be able to get a chance to go in there and fight, even in the biggest part of Texas.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
You definitely deserve it. And of course, I definitely want to get a chance to ask you this because here lately, it seems like that we're seeing women's boxing getting such huge traction. I mean, we saw the all women's card earlier this year from Madison Square Garden. It's like we're seeing women's boxing transition to a whole nother level. So my question to you is, how much does it mean to you the fact that women's boxing is getting the recognition and the love that it deserves?
It's a great time to be in women's sports, man. Like, I don't know if you follow the WNBA at all, but like, I'm a huge Caitlin Clark fan. I love that she's with my Indiana Fever. It's an awesome time to be in women's boxing, to be a part of women's sports. I feel like we're finally starting to get the recognition and the praise that we've all been fighting so hard for. At the end of the day, we just want to be treated with the same level of respect as all of the male athletes because we put in the same amount of work, sometimes even more because we're just fighting so hard to get that recognition. So to have MVP promotions put the all women card on, what was it, this summer? I mean, that was phenomenal to see. It almost made me like choked up because it's like I want to be there. I know that I belong there, and I'm going to continue to work hard to get an opportunity like that. But I'm just so happy for my fellow women boxers. Like, there's no ounce of like jealousy in my heart really because I want us all to succeed. A rising tide lifts all boats, I think is what the saying is, but I just want us all to succeed. So it's really exciting to be in women's boxing right now.
And like I said before, guys, I mean, like what she just mentioned for MVP, I mean, with what they're doing, it was Siriano against Taylor for the main event at Madison Square Garden. It was all streamed on Netflix too, so it's like, to me, it's like women's boxing is getting such a big opportunity. We're seeing women from all over the world, from Australia to Mexico, all get a chance to fly to the States to get a chance to fight against amazing warriors like yourself and so many others. It's like this is a great time. I mean, and not to mention that, I mean, if you think about this, though, if you're an MMA fan, guess what? Women's MMA is getting a chance to be transitioned to a high level. If you think about this, though, Mackenzie Dern winning that strawweight title fight, I mean, it goes to show that this is the year, and many more years to come, is the year that you want to get a chance to watch women's combat sports of all kinds because you girls are getting the platform that you definitely deserve.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
And of course, another thing too is that I mean, we just talked about this just a little bit ago. I mean, your profession, and I noticed that amateurs are getting such a different level compared to how it was. And my question to you is, I mean, how much does it mean to you the fact that we're starting to see amateurs finally getting the recognition compared to how it was when you first started?
Well, I've only been boxing for like 4.5 years, so I don't really know like the history of how amateur boxing differs. Decades ago or even a couple
Yeah.
years ago to now. I only had, I think, 8 amateur fights. It was really hard to get fights in Indiana, I will say. Um, but like, I think amateur boxing it's such a great opportunity to get a ton of experience. And I know there's challenges with like fighters kind of not taking those opportunities to fight the best or to fight whoever they have. Like, just go out there. If you're an amateur boxer, go out there and try to get as much experience as you can, no matter like if your opponent has more fights than you, like don't be afraid of that. You're not getting paid at the amateur level. You're there to get, experience if you want to proceed, to go on and be a pro. Um, just like don't take that for granted. Like take all the opponents you can get, I guess.
Well, I mean, at least fighting in Indiana is doing a lot better compared to how it is in West Virginia. Which I will say this though, it's like if you lived in West Virginia, then you guys would know what I'm talking about. There's I think a couple of promotions that do basically the trash talk, like the redneck talk. I think one is like the Redneck Brawl, and then the other one's Rough and Rowdy. But there is one promotion that is definitely doing an amazing job as far as trying to be able to keep things professionally, and that is a new line of cage fighting for sure as far as West Virginia. Which I gotta say this though, as far as the amateur side of things, outside of all that, I mean, this is a great time to be able to get a chance to see a new fighter, but if you know them or not get a chance to go in there because they got more guts than anybody else. They go in that ring, they go in that cage, they get a chance to show how great they are and do it. I believe amateurs should definitely earn more of a spotlight to get the same treatment like you professionals are getting a little bit of spotlight, get a chance to be interviewed, all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure.
And of course, I definitely want to talk about this though, is that, and I'm not gonna say that every fight has always been the easiest fight, to say the least, but yet if you can look back from your 4-year career, who would you say has been the toughest fight thus far?
The toughest fight that I've had,
Yes.
the toughest fight I had was definitely back in March against Melissa Parker. She may be small, like shorter than me and smaller than me probably, but she hits like a freight train, man. I gotta tell you, she hits like a freight train, and that definitely surprised me, but it taught me a lot about myself, like because in the ring you kind of got to figure it out. Like you're in there for 8 rounds, you better figure it out. So it taught me a lot about how deep can I dig, how much grit can I have because she and I, we have a lot of pride. We're not going down, So I had to grit my teeth a little bit and bite down on my mouthpiece and really fight back. So I'd say she was probably the hardest puncher, most difficult fight. Not just because of what she, offered in the ring, but there was just other stuff going on, and so it was a tough fight for sure.
Well, of course, shout out to Melissa Parker as well because I got a chance to watch that fight and you two girls did not go down at all. Like it was the battle of two gladiators, waiting to see which one was gonna fall, and it was just a lot of respect is definitely respect is due. So shout out to Miss Melissa Parker out there for sure. Now, of course, this is my final question. Are you ready for this one?
Yes, yeah.
All right. So we all want to be recognized for something that we do in the sport. Me, I just want to be recognized as that one cheesy interviewer, giving women the spotlight that they deserve. But you, as a fighter, you want to be recognized for something different. So what's something you want to be recognized for during a time in boxing?
So a bunch of things, kind of at the same time. I want to be recognized for being an entertaining fighter because it is an entertainment venture after all. Fighting, it's for entertainment, but um, I want to be entertaining because if I'm entertaining, I'm having fun in there, and I want to be like a dynamic fighter. I want to be known for having good technique, good power, good footwork. Like I want to be really well rounded. I want to be hard as hell to fight in the ring because I have so many different. I want to be like the Swiss Army knife of boxers. Um, but like, I guess above all that, I want to be known as like being a good person. Like the trash talking and stuff is not really my speed. And if you watch the weigh-ins at my last fight, you'll see that trash talking maybe isn't my forte, but I just want to have a good time in there. So I want to be recognized as an entertaining boxer with a lot of skill.
And I think also too is that you just mentioned it. You're definitely not one of those that like to get in their faces, trash talk. But I think you also like to be able to get just to be recognized with somebody who has a lot of class. And I believe that that is something that you are known for. I mean, do it. Let the talking be through our fists. Let the talking be through the gloves, and be able to get just to show your opponent just how great you are. Because at the end of the day, I mean, actions speak more louder than words. It's like I see this in the bare knuckle scene or in the amateur scene. It's like, don't get me wrong. If you think that you're great, by all means, talk all the smack talk you want. But at the end of the day, it's about respect. And I believe that with the fight you had this past weekend, and of course the fight you had with Miss Parker and many other fights, you definitely show a lot of respect to your opponents. And I really do admire that. And I really am honored the fact that we've got a chance to sit down and have this amazing talk. And I want to say before we do get to our final thoughts and comments, I'm honored to be able to have this interview going down. I'm proud of you. You're an amazing person, an amazing human being. You definitely deserve a huge recognition. And get ready for Cheesy Jake. But yeah, for having me on here, first of all, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
Thank you, thank you. It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, hey, before we do go, do you have any final thoughts or comments you want to say?
Um, Thank y'all for watching. I hope you continue to follow along with both of our profiles. And yeah, I guess that's a wrap.
Well,
Yeah.
well, hey, you definitely got a new friend and a new supporter. I will be up there rooting for you with my visible foam finger.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Hey, hey, that should do it here, ladies and gentlemen. As far as the interview side of things, for Miss Hannah, I am Jake, not from State Farm, saying so long, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, Jake. See ya.